Hey guys, steeljan here. I did my first partial extract brew last week. It's in the secondary right now, and I'll be finally pulling it out and kegging it in about another week or so. But the thing is, if you want to know what's in it, it's got a half ground of crystal 10L, half pound of honey malt, half pound of special B. Then I used 5.5 pounds of extra pale liquid malt extract, 7 grams of Magnum, a little more than 9 grams of Simcoe, half pound of milk sugar, and this California ale yeast, WLP 001, and Whirlfloc tablet. So I've got my questions, and I hope you guys got some answers. Okay, I put my boil water on, I put my water on for the grains. And I brought it up to 167 degrees, and it said I was supposed to, and then you put the grains in, it says supposed to steep at 156 degrees for 45 minutes. Well, I put mine in, but it never dropped below 160. Is that significant? Should I have done something? What could I have done at that point? No, I didn't still have the heat on. What should I have done? The second question, and a lot of people said to pour the grains in the bag over the pot so you don't miss any of those little sugar crystals that fall through the bag, because they're good stuff. But I got worried because I know those are flammable, so I thought if any of them got on the stove, and then when I finally turned the stove back on, they might catch fire. So I ended up doing what I saw Jake CPU Nut do, which is pour my grains into the bag over a plate and then pour those little sugar granules into the pot afterwards. So anyway, I didn't know. So now another question I had was the original gravity of drop top amber ale is 12.25 degrees Plato. So I ran that through a conversion. I saw it should be just a titch over 50. 50 would have been great, but mine came in at 44. So what should I have done at that point? I mean, if I'd have been brewing a Cooper's kit, I would have just added more dry malt extract or more sugar, but I was completely lost at what to do if you don't get your original gravity correct with a partial extract brew. So, you know, what would you have done? What could I have done? But my biggest problem was chilling. I switched ice and water around in the pot in the sink, and I got it down. It was like an hour or so. I finally got it down to 85, and I was like, man, it's being there too long. So I finally dumped it in my fermenter and thought maybe the cold water I add to bring it up to 5 gallons will chill it down good enough, but it didn't. So I was left with, it was like 80 degrees or so. It was like 68 degrees in the house. So this California ale yeast says to not pitch it till the wort is between 70 and 75 degrees. Well, I whipped the devil out of it with my whisk to aerate it, and then I thought, but it still wasn't dropping in temperature. And after I whipped it forever, never, I finally put the lid on it and put the airlock on it, put some water in the airlock. I just left it there and prayed to God it would be low enough to pitch this yeast before I went to bed. And it was. I checked it and it was 74. And so I went ahead and pitched the yeast and put the lid on and everything. So it was bubbling when I woke up the next morning. But if you don't get it down to between 70 and 75 quick enough, I mean, I know that was way, way, way too long. Like 3 hours or something before I finally got to pitch the yeast, but I did have it sealed up the last bit. What do you do? What do you do? You don't have this trouble with a Cooper's kit, so here again I was just lost for what to do. Now I don't know what I'm going to do in the future, because now we're hitting 90 degrees in the day and only getting down to like near 60 at night. I'll have to figure out something or stop brewing for the summer. I'm thinking this whole heat problem has to do with my brew pot, and here's my brew pot, and it has this extremely heavy metal bottom, And this pot is specifically designed to keep your heat good, keep your heat in and maintain your temperature. So should I get a different pot? Would it be okay after I chilled the wort some if I could have poured it into an aluminum pot? I hear everybody poo-pooing aluminum pots, but could I have poured it into an aluminum pot since aluminum loses its temperature so much quicker? Would that have been the thing I should have done? You know, okay, that's enough. That's all my questions. Maybe I should show you the beer in the secondary in the closet. Hang on a second, I'll do that. So here's my drop top amber ale clone in the secondary. I use just another fermenting bucket for my secondary. And also you might see that there's a little inmate brew going there. And Craig, instead of putting an airlock on top of a cap, I just use a big rubber stopper and a hose going over to a cup of water. That's how I do that. Okay, that's it. Hi guys, it's time to go visit one of my favorite places in Austin, Austin Homebrew Supply. Okay, well that was me when I first arrived at Austin Homebrew last week to get all the stuff I needed for this drop top amber ale clone. And I wanted to go inside and film through the window of their place where they're all sterilized and everything. They go back there and they mill the grain for you and everything and collect all the ingredients, and I wanted to show that. But when I got inside the store, the guy said, "I would really rather you not film." So you didn't get to see the rest of that.